I was an 8-year-old boy. I loved adventures. One day, I visited my grandparents. Their house was old and full of cool things. I loved to explore. I found a wooden box in the attic. It was dusty and mysterious. I opened the box. Inside, I found a watch. It was unlike any watch I had ever seen. It was silver and had a glowing moon on its face. The moon seemed to whisper, "Touch me."
Leo, you have such a curious mind. Always exploring, just like when I was young.
I was curious. I put the watch on my wrist. Suddenly, the room began to spin. The watch glowed brightly. I closed my eyes. When I opened them again, I was in a different place.
Leo realized the watch was magical. It could take him on adventures through time. He was so excited to see where it would take him next. Leo found himself in a hot, sandy desert. Towering above him was a giant pyramid. It was the Great Pyramid of Giza. Leo was amazed. He saw people carving stones. They were building the pyramid for the pharaoh.
This is incredible!
Suddenly, a man in a golden headdress approached Leo. It was the pharaoh. He needed Leo's help. He had lost a special amulet. It was the key to a secret chamber inside the pyramid. The pharaoh gave Leo a riddle.
I am light as a feather, yet the strongest person cannot hold me for long. What am I?
Breath!
The pharaoh smiled. Leo had solved the riddle. He pointed to a hidden passage in the pyramid. The watch glowed again, transporting Leo to a new time and place. He found himself in a grand castle. Knights in shining armor practiced sword fighting.
This must be Camelot!
He had read stories about King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. A young page ran up to Leo.
The king requests your presence.
Leo followed the page to the throne room. King Arthur explained that he had lost his magical sword, Excalibur. Without it, he couldn't protect his kingdom. He asked Leo to help find it.
Seek ye the oldest tree in the Whispering Woods.
Leo set off into the woods. He finally found the oldest tree. It was a giant oak with twisted branches. Hanging from one of the branches was Excalibur.
I found it!
Leo returned the sword to King Arthur. The king was so grateful. He knighted Leo, proclaiming him Sir Leo the Brave. Leo's heart was racing. He wished he could stay, but he knew it was time to go home.
He touched the moon on his watch.
In a flash, he was back in his grandparents' attic. He took off the watch and held it in his hand. The moon on the watch seemed to wink at him. Leo smiled. He knew he would never forget his adventures.
He looked around the attic. Something caught his eye. It was a small wooden puzzle box tucked in a corner. Leo had never noticed it before. He picked it up and turned it over in his hands.
He realized there was a message carved on the bottom of the box. It was a riddle.
I have keys but no locks. I have a space but no room. You can enter but can't go outside. What am I?
Leo smiled. He knew the answer.
He whispered it to the puzzle box. A keyboard!
The box clicked open. Inside, Leo found a tiny silver key. He knew instantly what the key was for. It was for the watch.
Leo carefully inserted the key into a hidden slot on the side of the watch.
The watch began to glow brighter than ever. The moon on the watch seemed to pulse with energy, beckoning Leo on a new adventure. He couldn't wait to see where the Moonlit Timekeeper would take him next.